Cheddar Goblin, Cheddar Goblin, Cheddar Goblin, Cheddar Goblin.
Cheddar Goblin has 60% more cheese than other leading brands.
Yep, represented by this giant block of cheese.
Nothing's better than cheddar.
Hi everyone, welcome to whatever the fuck this is. Just before we started recording, Matt was just like, "Have you ever seen Cheddar Goblin?" Like, what does that even mean? What does that even? Then he whipped out his Cheddar Goblin for all to see. It's a fake advert from the movie Mandy.
Yes, anybody who's seen Mandy will be well aware of the Cheddar Goblin.
It was pretty special.
It's a hell of a thing.
I like how the kids were mad at the Cheddar Goblin at the beginning, and then suddenly were ecstatic that the Cheddar Goblin was there.
Yes, once the Cheddar Goblin starts vomiting cheddar all over them, vomiting mac and cheese all over them, then all is forgiven, really.
How do you prep those child actors for that? So there's going to be this horrifying rubber goblin puppet, and it's going to spew mac and cheese all over you. Just keep cheering.
They'll be like, "Oh, just like my stepdad."
What the hell? Oh, Christ. So this is what happens when you're back in the room together.
Back in the room!
Back in the fucking room. And we could touch each other. We won't. But we could.
No, because I won't let him.
That's true. Hi, welcome to Big Dumb Cast, Nerdy News, Geeky Gossip, whatever the fuck we talk about this week. I am Chris, nothing's better than Cheddar Johnson.
And I am Matt, Cheddar Goblin Watson.
That's not the freakiest, rubber Halloween thing we've seen today.
No.
For today's show. We're going to talk about a shitload of trailers today, everybody. So brace yourself. We're also going to look at emails and tweets and all that gubbins. But first, could you please explain to me what the hell is on the desk next to the microphone?
No.
Great.
I will not. I will only say that it'll be on the Twitter.
Okay, fair enough. If you want to know what the hell... Are you drafting a tweet now?
I'm tweeting right now. I'm showing off our special guest.
God, we have a special guest who is made up of parts.
No, don't spoil the surprise.
Okay, fair enough. Go to the Twitter, Big Dumb Cast, to find out what the hell we're having to look at while we talk, and then question Matthew as to why he put this thing up. Because I'm horrified. Do you know what else horrified me? Segway.
Hey!
Segway! Horror movie trailers.
Horror movie. Well, 2 horror movie trailers and a action movie trailer.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
And a partridge in a pear tree. So first of all, I think we should, in the interest of tone, let's talk about the quote unquote leaked Suicide Squad trailer.
Yeah, one of two superhero trailers this week actually, because the other one's 10 Rings.
Completely fucking forgot about 10 Rings.
Do you know why?
Let's talk about 10 Rings.
Because it crept out on a Friday in the early hours of the UK, and it was like, what?
And the same time as the fucking Halloween Kills trailer.
Yeah, which we'll get to.
So let's talk about Suicide Squad first.
So it leaked, except
it leaked.
The leak was Margot Robbie and other stars of the movie putting it on their social media.
Yeah.
6 or 7 hours before it was due to be out.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a cute publicity stunt, but it's also like, okay, we get it. You're all bad guys. We get it. Also, it seems like everybody was handed it at different times.
Yeah.
Like, Margot Robbie broke it first, and then it was like, David DeSmolchin got it 2 hours later, and John Cena got it 4 hours later. You're like, can you not just... could this be more coordinated? It made me... And someone's going to be like, of course you're turning this into a DC dissing session. That's not what it is. But, think about whenever Marvel has a trailer that drops, every single social media site and every actor who's involved with the franchise puts the trailer out at the same time. And it's like, wow, that level of coordination is actually really impressive to do. Because that's either you getting the individual actors and directors, or at least their management with access to their social media, to all participate at the exact same moment or schedule something at the exact same moment. That is a lot of coordination. Whereas here it was a sort of scattered release, and the version of the leaked trailer that made it to Twitter at first was just bad screen capture of Margot Robbie's upload. So for ages, the only version of the Suicide Squad trailer that was up to watch was a shit, condition, really bad audio one. It was like, That's weird. And then like 3 hours later, oh, here's the trailer. There you go, there's the link. Although it was fun that James Gunn was like mock telling off all of his actors.
How dare you do this thing?
Well, I suppose you're the bad guy.
But enough about the whether twos and wifles. Let's talk about the actual trailer.
Yes.
It looks good, surprising no one. Next.
Yeah, it does. It looks really fun. We get a lot more Starro.
Project Starfish.
Yeah, well, we get confirmation as well that it ain't just going to be your front cover of Justice League, like one big starfish. We get confirmation that it is going to spew out loads of little starfish. So I'm assuming we're going to get some facehugger mind control stuff at some point.
Starfishes.
Nice. Across the universe.
Starfishes Incorporated. Starfishes.
Continuing James Gunn's tradition of things with tentacles and small creepy crawly things.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. Absolute fucking slime hound.
He has seen enough hentai, and he knows where this is going.
He's driving it in that direction. With his big old nightmare truck cap on. Being like, woohoo! Next stop, the hentai store!
There's a hentai store? Why the fuck are we recording here?
We're recording the hentai store.
Let's get a sponsorship. Be great. Get a tentacle to hold the microphone.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Be great. Fuck off. Yeah.
I want to record a podcast whilst being wanked off by a squid. I'm just saying.
I hope that we haven't seen all of Peacemaker's best lines in the trailers.
Yeah, he's sort of held back a little in this. We get some more zings, but like it seems like they're saving John Cena's, at least his action beats.
He's doing the John Cena thing of just playing it completely straight but saying ridiculous things.
Yeah, which he's very good at.
He's very good at deadpanning.
Did you see that really brief controversy this week where someone said that they'd been pitching a film with The Rock, John Cena and Dave Bautista co-starring together, all together in one film?
Yeah.
And Dave Bautista went, nah, I'm good. And it became this weird fake controversy where everyone was like, oh, you're too good for these guys, or like, oh, you're too good to acknowledge your roots. And he had to come out and just go, look, I'm kind of winding down from action stuff. I've done
it.
And he posted like a picture of an edit of all the parts he's played in the last few years. And you do look at it and you go, yeah, this guy has got like a lot of nuance and range going on.
Yes.
I can see why he's like, look, I'm going to do less action now, thanks.
He's
and a film with the three of them would undoubtedly be an action flick.
Yeah.
Unless they subvert it and someone comes to him now and is like, right, the film I'm pitching with all three of you is actually like an intense drama or like a kitchen sink drama.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. Now, if that happened, I would be like, all in.
What if it's like The Fighter, but with bodybuilders?
What if it was like Pain and Gain, but not made by a prick?
Pain and Gain there's some fun to be had in Pain and Gain, but it is also awful at the same time.
The Rock's in that.
The Rock is in that.
And some charisma in there.
There's plenty of charisma.
There's a lot of Bud Light in it.
There's so much Bud Light.
So much Bud Light.
The Rock's charisma almost cancels out Mark Wahlberg's mouth-breathy piss boy energy.
Almost. Out of Bautista, Cena, and Johnson, who's the better actor? I think they're all really good performers.
I think Bautista's
they've proved that they're all
range.
good performers, but yeah, he can do more.
Or
at least has been given the chance to do more.
Yes.
Or has been picky enough to only pick the roles that let him do that.
Yes, I think absolutely.
Dwayne's a charisma powerhouse. Like, you can put him in anything, and I'm like, I will at least consider watching this because I like watching him.
He's got screen presence for days.
Yeah, and Cena is like so fucking funny.
Yeah, I think Cena's probably the best comedian of the three.
Commedia del You Can't See Me.
You can't.
Oh, that's why Dave Bautista doesn't want to be in a film with John Cena and The Rock.
Because they're both invisible.
Everyone would just think The Rock was in it. There it is. The jokes wouldn't stop.
There's the invisible. Well, him and James could have been complaining about the invisible Drax joke.
Yeah, and saying at least it replaced the "I have sensitive nipples" line. Because that was the thing he got
my nipples
joked about for ages, and it's like
they're quite good, to be fair. But yeah, people do take these things too far, don't they?
They never stop. It's almost like they make podcasts where they can talk about this shit. Speaking of, Idris Elba gets probably the biggest focus in this trailer.
Yeah, so it seems like he's going to be our sort of main point of audience sympathy.
Do you remember early days when we heard that he was cast as the new lead in this one?
Yeah.
And Will Smith wasn't returning, and those headlines came out at the same time, and there was a lot of speculation, and we covered it on the show, that Deadshot had been recast.
Yeah.
And Idris Elba was taking over from Will Smith. And we were like, no, like, it's probably going to be an original character. And then they revealed that it was, what's his face?
Bloodsport.
Who I did a little reading on at one point. Was like, yeah, I have no knowledge of this character. Oh, he is an obscure character.
Yeah.
And his costume is nowhere near as cool as this one. And there's already like upcoming artwork from some DC books where he's now going to be in it with the film-inspired costume. And it's like, yeah, fair enough. Like, no worries.
Yeah, that's how comics work now.
That's how we are. That's where we be.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, this trailer did make me think, do you know what? I think there is a draft of this where that's Deadshot. Because the plot we're introduced to is that his daughter is being used as leverage by Waller. And it's like, yep, that was Deadshot's story.
Yep.
That was his story too. I'm a little sad to see how similar that is, to be honest. But we'll let the film speak for itself and see if it
Which I'm sure it will.
Did you see all the... And if you didn't react this way, this does not apply to you. Don't worry about it. But did you see all the absolute wet fart, pissy DCEU fans?
Piss boys!
Getting so annoyed that apparently Bloodsport is put away because he shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet which landed Superman in the ICU. Mm-hmm. And they were like, some fucking Man of Steel wouldn't be down by that. Fuck it. Guys, it's a kryptonite bullet. That's a more than, like, perceivable way, the believable way for Superman to end up having to go to the ICU. A poisoned bullet made of the one substance that can pierce his skin.
Apart from which...
went into his body.
That is actually how Bloodsport was introduced in the comics.
Yes! So that's the other thing as well. It's not how it would happen.
Yes, it did happen.
It did.
Yeah. There we go.
And it's that whole thing of like, well, Superman's not that puny or weak. It's like, guys, you don't know the full story. Superman probably got to the hospital. Paramedics took it out. He was like, thanks. Healed the fuck back up. Flew over and punched Bloodsport into the goddamn sun.
Thanks. Now put me on the sunbed.
Exactly. Like it's not. You don't. They're not saying this guy killed Superman or this guy took Superman. The biggest comparison everyone kept posting in that, what should we call it, the Piss Boy faction.
Piss Boys.
Was an image of him from Zack Snyder's Justice League when Steppenwolf hits him with that big axe and it does nothing to him. And they were saying, you're telling me this guy was put down by Idris Elba with a bullet. And it's like...
With a kryptonite bullet,
yes. A kryptonite bullet.
With a kryptonite bullet.
He absolutely was. And that's fine.
That's how Superman works. He's weak to kryptonite.
That's
how it works.
Why do you have this issue with your heroes having weaknesses? Like, that's what makes them endearing. The fact that they persevere.
They just need strong men in their lives because Daddy wasn't there.
It's also weird because these are the same people that during the Dark Knight trilogy coming out said they don't want a Superman movie because he's too overpowered and he's too good.
But he couldn't be taken down with a bullet.
I
don't think it's the same people.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I imagine there's some overlap on the old Venn diagram, but there we go.
I don't know. It's weird that Superman has been made more...
you don't know. And how dare you make presumptions?
I'm going to. It's our podcast, damn it. I'm going to say what I think, and if you don't like it, then you can leave a comment and help us with the algorithm. Thanks.
Please. Please leave comments.
Please leave comments. Please pop a comment in my... But, yeah, it's like... It's weird how Nolan's darker lean with Batman and the studio going with Snyder's take on Superman and Man of Steel has sort of, like... open the door to people who were critical of Superman as a positive character.
Yeah.
To now decide that no, he's like a badass, emotionless, like, and it's like, no, Superman's always been badass, but he's also always been cheesy and a bit camp and Boy Scout. Like, he's all of those things, and that's fine. One throwaway line in a trailer about an assassin who is a bad guy who has to be dangerous enough that he's considered for the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Saying that, he was put here because he took down Superman temporarily. And, like, I just shut up. I think a lot of it is just inbuilt disdain for the fact that this is a director from the Marvel franchise.
Yeah, probably.
There was a big outcry from a lot of that set as well at the fact the trailer says the man who brought you Guardians of the Galaxy. They were saying, how dare you bring up Marvel?
How dare you?
Oh, I'm sorry. The Warner executives who are trying to sell you this movie aren't going to use the name of the fucking massively successful movie this guy also made that will make people come to see this other superhero film he's made. Do you know what I mean? It's just so weird.
Yeah,
it's so freaking weird. It's like, why are you so pissy?
Why are you such... Piss boys.
It looks fun. It looks really fun.
Speaking about Piss boys, no. No piss in this. Ain't no piss in this. Let's talk about the new trailer for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
The story trailer.
I mean, it's what we thought it was. It's Shang-Chi's broken away from his father, and his father wants to bring him back into the fold, but he doesn't want to go back into the fold. And now there's all sorts of cool, weird stuff, including an underwater dragon, and elemental wind powers, and water that hangs in the air. And the Ten Rings are like the arm weapons that we kind of knew they were from merchandise and stuff.
Can we touch on that for a second? That's a really great visual. Though.
Yes, yeah.
It does look really freaking cool.
Neat. It's really neat.
Because, traditionally in the comics, the Mandarin wields the 10 Rings of Power, and they each have their own sort of abilities, and combined basically make you like a nearly invulnerable wizard.
They're not quite Infinity Stone level powerful, but they're very powerful.
Yeah, they're alien technology that has sort of been blown up to be items of mysticism.
Yeah.
Which the Mandarin uses to his advantage. There's also, because I can't remember which origin we've gone with the Mandarin now in terms of the comics, but, there's always been implications that he is an ancient being who has survived because of this tech, or who's already this mystical thing, and then this is what raised him to the next level.
Who could say?
Well, we probably could pick up an Iron Man comic and say, but do you know what?
This Iron Man comic is massively racist. Oh dear.
Yeah, let's maybe not read his actual origin.
Yeah, I just don't do that.
So the recontextualizing him here of basically being like, it looks like it's sort of an equivalent of a kingpin, of a warlord, gangster. Yeah. I like the scenes we see of. I think this is the stuff I'm most excited about. The scenes we see of him with young Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Where he's basically bring your son to work day, while this guy's his job is, I'm here to enforce and be aggressive and, punch people down and make a statement. Like that scene in a restaurant where he's beating a guy up and his kid is standing by watching.
Oh, I'm going to make you tough by having these two guys beat you with sticks.
Yeah, that's horrible. And now we have what's nice in this story trailer compared to the teaser is the juxtaposition of his mother.
Yeah.
Who is completely separate from him, or from the Mandarin, or at least is...
That we see.
Or at least is morally separate from him.
In context, who knows?
Yeah, but I love the fact she's you are also your mother, and whether you like it or not, you are also your father.
Yeah.
That is part of who you are, but it's up to you to decide who you're going to be. And so this is basically the first sort of superhero origin movie we've had in the Marvel franchise for a bit. I think it looks visually fun. I don't know if this trailer slapped as much as the teaser did for me. I think the teaser slapped a bit more.
Well, it's just a bit.
The teaser gave us more Razor Fist and kicking on a bendy bus, and that stuff was
which
really
there is
cool.
a bit of in here.
A little bit on here. Less emphasis on Razor Fist though. Where's my Razor Fist?
Oh, God, Razor Fist is hardly an A-list character.
Yeah, but absolutely no offense to Aquafina, but the chase figure for these Marvel Legends tied into the film that are out in the States right now is Katie, her character. It's like a Walmart exclusive, and it's the rare one, and of course it's hanging on a lot of pegs at the minute because no one knows who this character is or cares, so it's just sat in the store. But I'm no offense to her, I think her character absolutely should get an action figure. But why is there no Razor Fist in this line?
Yeah.
Of all the figures they've made from the film so far, there isn't the one of the dude with a sword for an arm?
Give me Razor Fist.
Give me Razor Fist.
Or give me death.
The speculation line that's Fing Fang Foom underwater, it isn't.
I hope it is.
I'm sorry. Lego has confirmed it isn't. Merchandise. But it is a dragon, and it is a dragon. Real, and it is freaking real.
It's more than we got in Iron Fist.
That's true. This is the better Iron Fist already.
Yeah.
It's mad. So
I'm just looking forward to this. It's just something. People complain that Marvel just keep doing the same thing over again. Yeah, it's probably going to have a lot of the similar Marvel feel to it. I mean, that's what makes them so sort of consistently good. But it's a character that is not only a bit more obscure than anything we've had to this point, and we've had Guardians of the Galaxy, but also a character who they've kind of had to retool more extensively because so much of his origin and history sort of tied in with problematic representations of Asian culture, that bringing on people of Asian heritage to sort of shepherd it is, I think, a really smart move and could really pay off.
There's no stench of, the archetypes of white man goes to Asian territory to learn martial art and become better, and also the way the film's been made, there's no sort of white man is going to tell you this story completely. Like you said, in terms of its pedigree of its casting and its writers and the people who are working behind the scenes, they are going, hey, how do we stop this being problematic like the origins of this book? Oh,
Yeah.
I know. We hand it over to people who actually represent what the story should be about.
Yeah.
Here we go. And that alone is interesting. Again, like you say, Guardians is a great example. Have faith. Anyone who's watching this trailer and going, I don't know, sort of, is this my jumping off point for the MCU? You used to look at a trailer with a talking raccoon and a tree and go, the fuck is this? Like,
But by the same token, you've had 21 MCU movies at this point, so if this is a jumping off point,
true,
fine.
true.
It's fine. You don't have to watch these.
I think this is going to be more of a jumping on point for people, to be honest.
I think so. Cause,
Black Widow and this are like, here are basic stories centering on one character.
Well, I think this more than Black Widow, because
Yeah.
Black Widow has the baggage of it being a character you know from those previous movies.
Before we finish on Shang-Chi, did you see the furore around Black Widow this week, where people were like, Scarlett Johansson has confirmed that this is her last film as Natasha Romanoff, and everyone's going, no! How is that not obvious? Like, how is that not obvious? Like, spoiler alert for a 2-year-old movie. She's dead.
Also, like, they're refreshing the core cast.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the original round of Avengers, they're gone now.
Yeah.
It's only really Thor who's still around from that.
Oh, it's Hemsworth, Renner, and Ruffalo.
Yeah.
So we've got half the originals around.
And they're
which is a
probably not
perfect
gonna-
basis if you want to do your next Avengers movie to be like, right, these guys are the head of it.
Yeah.
Here's your new team joining them. And then going forward, they don't have to stick around as much.
I can see Hemsworth and Ruffalo maybe doing another Avengers film. I don't think Renner will.
It depends on where Hawkeye goes, I suppose.
I just think he should go
As a
away.
show.
Should go. Should just go.
Well, that's the thing. That one thing these movies are doing really well, and Shang-Chi's all about this, is legacy.
Yeah.
Like, they're setting up the idea of, like, the next generation. So Shang-Chi, I doubt we're going to come away from this movie with Shang-Chi owning the 10 rings.
And it looks like that's the kind of thing they're probably going to be. The fact that Ms. Marvel, that Captain Marvel 2 is the Marvels.
Yeah, featuring
Monica and
Kamala. So it's like, oh look,
Yeah.
legacy. Thor, Jane Foster is taking up Mjolnir
Yeah.
in the next one.
Although I don't think we're going to get Jane Foster as Thor going forward.
I'll be honest, I think it depends on how much fun she has on that project.
Yes,
and how much money they
well, yes.
dump truck up to her house.
They paid me a
because
lot
Natalie
of
Portman
money.
came away from Dark World going, yeah, I think that's it for me. I'm not really interested in doing it anymore. And then they explicitly write the character out and everything to make it the case. And then obviously she watches Ragnarok. Taika is like, hi, I've got an idea. Just hear me out. If you don't want to, you don't want to. And she's like,
And
you
his
made
idea
that last
was,
one?
do you want to join my poly bubble? And she said, no.
No, but...
Oh, I've got another idea,
Yeah.
actually. Would you like to be in my Thor film with my poly bubble?
Hey, big love to the Taika Waititi.
Yes,
big love to
literally.
Tessa Thompson.
Literally.
Rita Ora's a bit of a shithouse, but
Yeah.
apart from that, big love to them all.
Yeah.
Rita, I'm having a birthday party with 30 people during a lockdown. What officer? I didn't realise it was against the law. Aura. Anyway, just saying, like, Taika, I hope you are getting tested every time you make out with Rita Ora, because you do not know where she's been during a pandemic.
She likes to break the law.
Yes!
That's better than most of the singles.
Speaking of breaking the law, underground cage fighting, the trailer ends with, I don't think it's Wong. The internet's going, is that Wong? I think they would have told us if it was Wong. I think we would get a hero shot in this trailer of Benedict Wong's face. If that was
why
Wong.
would Benedict Wong be... Benedict Wong? Why would Wong...
Played by Benedict Wong.
Benedict Wong.
Saves the money on the print for the forms and the trailer door stuff. They just
Why?
put Wong and everyone's like, well, that's Benedict's trailer. It's like, oh yeah. That's something that is something that hit me like 2 years after watching Doctor Strange. I was like, wait, the leads in this are both played by dudes called Benedicts.
Yeah.
What are the fucking chances? Like, what are the chances of that?
But imagine if it was Benedict Strange and Benedict Wong playing Stephen Strange.
Imagine if it was Benedict Strange playing Wong.
Benedict Wong
playing
yes.
Strange. I read The Unbelievable Gwenpool last night, and there's a bit where Doctor Strange sort of helps her settle into the 616.
Okay.
Uses magic to kind of give her an identity there so she can get a bank account, basically.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he sort of briefly peeks into her universe. You don't see it, but he's kind of looking, and he thinks for a second, he goes, Cumberbatch, I see it. And it's like, oh, that's That's nice. That's pretty
fun.
cool. It's a really fucking great book
fun.
as well so far. But anyway, so I don't think it's Wong, but it's definitely a sorcerer of Kamatage because the robes and the magic. Who's he fighting, Matt?
It looks like
A DCEU piss boy.
No, it looks like it's a classic comics accurate Abomination.
And definitely MCU Abomination kit bashed as well. Because it's like, he's got the weird freaky ribs, he's got the weird big feet, he's got the bent over statue with the pea head.
Big man
now,
need big feet.
But now, who the hell's
Sorry?
this guest star outside? But you know what they say about tiny pea head, big man, big feet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to have Phineas.
Yeah, obviously. So what's really nice is he's wearing a loincloth, protecting his modesty.
Yeah, well,
it's
such
bright.
as it is.
It's bright blue, like the Abomination's little pants usually are in the comics. He's still got the weird fucked up spine, but it's now got like fin protrusions sticking out of it. Like there's a further gamma mutation going on in his body, and he also has, like you said, Phineas. Like the Abomination actually, because for those who are confused, Abomination appeared in the MCU in Incredible Hulk back in 2008, played by Tim Roth. Best thing about the film, like Tim Roth's performance is good. I mean, it's a pretty underrated movie.
There's some good stuff.
It's not a high point of the MCU, but it's pretty fun. And Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky is great. And then you get that lovely payoff at the end where he's further mutated and becomes the Abomination, and you get the final showdown between two big CGI beasties in the streets.
It's abominable.
Yes. Snowman. The way they show it is Hulk in that film is kind of, it's like his exterior is all sinew and muscle.
Yeah.
Like Banner is kind of grown outwards, and then they scrap that design between then and Avengers, and it becomes more about Beefy Boy.
Yeah.
Which sort of suits the Ruffalo design better. But it does imply that, so there is kind of further gamma mutation for anyone who undergoes this process. Like, people can change. You could chalk it up to that. It's not just a change of design for Hulk. It's like, the Hulk has sort of changed and shifted a bit. Which is absolutely true, because later on, by the time of like Ragnarok, he's got more of a leaner figure. Like, he's less chunky, he's more leaner. And then, of course, by the time of Professor Hulk, it's just basically like human but expanded. And it's like, okay. So Blonsky's obviously going through the same thing. In that film, he's all bone and like, big overarching ribs, and like his elbow bones stick out and protrude, and he uses them as weapons. Now it looks like the mutation's going in a more reptilian bent, with spines coming out of his spine.
Because he's a cold-blooded motherfucker.
Yeah, and his big old ears. And he seems to be a bit more of a tinge of green as well.
Oh, love it.
So
Love a bit of green.
On a completely nerdy level, it's cool to see that we're getting payoff. Because every time they reference Incredible Hulk, it's been like kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, that did happen. General Ross is now the Secretary of Defense. Great. Brilliant. Yes. I like that. I've always said I would have loved at least one throwaway line about him actually fucking hating Banner. We never get it, but that's fine. It works. You watch Incredible Hulk, you watch Civil War, you're like, I believe that that's the same dude. I absolutely believe that that's the trajectory he's gone in. He's worked himself up so much that he had a heart attack, near-death experience, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be in charge of this bitch, but I'm gonna be calmer about it.
Yeah.
I believe it. There was a wonderful tweet I saw during the rounds after the Shang-Chi trailer saying like, Abomination, great. Now, MCU, could you maybe give these guys another appearance? And it was Tim Blake Nelson.
Yes.
And Liv Tyler. And it's like, yeah.
Yes, please.
Just touch base with Betty Ross. Just show us that she's somewhere living her best fucking life. And she's not pining for Bruce. But, like, give them a scene. That'd be cool.
Well, certainly in earlier drafts, they were playing of... I can't remember which film it was. They were playing with the idea of Red Hulk.
I think it was Civil War.
Yeah.
So, but it would have been way too distracting in that movie. Way too distracting. Plus, what's kind of nice about the film is you don't have Thor and Hulk in it.
Yeah. So everything's a bit.
You feel like aside from Vision, you feel like the superhero matchup is evenly
Vision
matched.
is your heavy hitter, and then that goes tits up, and that's what fucks up Rhodes.
Yeah.
So that's quite well. Vision's your heavy hitter, and then they bring in Spider, who is a heavier hitter than anyone thinks he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the thing, everyone underestimates Spider.
And of course, by this point, Wanda as well isn't in like full... She's not, but mostly she's holding back because she doesn't want to hurt anyone.
Yes.
Because like by the time of Endgame, it's like, who are the strongest members of the Avengers? Captain Marvel, Thor, and Wanda.
Yeah, they're basically all physical gods.
Hulks you back up.
Yeah.
Like, these are the strongest. Hulks you back up. I'd put Ant-Man in there as backup too. Like, when he hits giant man size, he's pretty fucking formidable.
Also, Hulk's injured in the Endgame battle.
He is.
So he's not even
with a little cast arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this adds further thing to what I talked about when we were doing Falcon and Winter Soldier. I absolutely think that they're building up to a Thunderbolts or a Dark Avengers lineup here.
Yeah, okay, I can see it. See it.
Like, I mean, we knew Abomination was coming back in She-Hulk. Well, we knew Tim Roth was coming back to play Blonsky in She-Hulk. But now it's like, they're reminding everyone that Abomination exists.
It would be pretty neat. I wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't actually get any dialogue or anything.
It could just be a visual cameo. Because you see later on, earlier in the trailer, presumably later in the scene, Shang-Chi is in there facing one of the... Is it the Death Dealer? Whatever it's called. The guys in the porcelain mask.
Fuck knows.
So it's like, there's, that this is them arriving at this location and seeing fights happening. But they're reminding us Abomination exists. US agents out there. Mm-hmm. There's a duplicate Vision going around that sort of is the Vision, but not quite yet. Armor Wars is happening at some point soon. Yeah. Like, they're just going, hey, all the heroes... You notice there's like sort of Dark Mirror versions out there. I'm just going to remind you all.
We've got many characters. Like 2 more trailers on a completely different bent.
Yeah, but both all about villains.
Let's go horrible. Let's go horrifying.
Let's get
first of all, something that was supposed to be out last year but got put. Well, they're both supposed to be out last year but got pushed back.
Yeah.
But this one we know a bit less about because it is Nia DaCosta's new Candyman. Reboot / sequel?
Just checking. You said it once. Just keeping a tally.
I'm not looking in any mirrors, it's fine.
True.
You've got to look in the mirror, you can't just have a mirror in the room.
Alright, fair enough.
That's...
Someone did the homework / paid attention to the trailer.
Somebody's seen the film, the first film, and both sequels.
Farewell to the Flash, that's number 2, right? Was that 3?
Yeah, no, it's 2.
What's 3 called? Just Candyman 3?
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead? Okay.
Because, of course, it's set around the day that... Yeah, of course. Because, of course, it is. Because you can't have a film about black people without going into black culture stereotypes and setting something in New Orleans, despite the original being set in Chicago, but whatever.
Which is why this movie is, like 2018's Halloween, a direct sequel to the first Candyman.
Yes.
Although, as far as we're aware, it isn't going out of its way to say 2 and 3 didn't happen.
Well...
But it's doing the thing that Halloween 2018 did, and having the same name as the original and being a sequel to the original.
Apart from the titular ghost, spirit, entity, there isn't actually a lot of connective tissue between Candyman and its sequels.
Yeah.
But...
Because the whole point of the original is it's a story of a very specific place and a very specific area and town and everything. I'm guessing 2 and 3 go beyond that then. Like you said, New Orleans. It's like, we're going to go over here now. And it's like, it sort of got swept up a little bit in the 80s afterglow, late 80s afterglow of like the Elm Street franchise and things like that. Like the slasher is the star. You've made one good film with a really unique horror villain, so let's make more films with that horror villain.
Yeah.
And it's like, do we need to? And that's the question put out by this one. When it was first announced, the reaction was sort of like, do we need to remake Candyman? And then they came out and said, no, it's not a remake. I was like, oh, okay. So what is it? Well, it's a continuation / franchise reboot. Right? But what's your angle? Is it just that Candyman's just going to kill more people? This trailer goes in on it a little more than last year's original trailer.
Yes.
Which was a creepy-ass trailer. Last year's trailer was creepy as sin. Ending with that whole, like, no, don't say it. Like, that was just, so well done. But this year's trailer expands on it a bit more. This is very much in the vein of what we've just been saying about the Marvel stuff. This is a legacy film.
Well, it's because Vanessa Williams is returning as Anna Marie McCoy from the original, and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is playing her son Anthony, who is a baby in the original.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what context the baby features in the story in the original because you haven't seen it and you should see it. Mm-hmm. I'm talking to Chris, not the audience. If you've seen the 1992 Candyman, then good on you. Chris, fucking watch it.
Yeah. I'll bring it back next week.
So there is a direct link there to the original movie. it does seem out how about it is. There's some suggestion in the trailer, some body horror stuff, that Anthony's, by invoking the Candyman legend, is somehow becoming a new Candyman. Which again links into the original has that sort of feel of people who invoke the legend become part of the legend, and that's how it propagates.
Which, I mean, what I do know of that original series, one of the protagonists of the first one sort of becomes part of the myth as the films go on.
And that's the whole sort of... That's the sort of theme of...
In fact, I think someone is cast as that character.
Ooh.
But it's not the same
I'm going to check the cast list.
I think someone is credited as that character in this one. So it may just be in, like, flashback or something. But
Possibly.
It's
But it wouldn't surprise me.
But what's also interesting is we have 2 people cast, listed in the cast list as the Candyman.
Yes.
We have our lead, but Tony Todd, the original Candyman, is credited as the Candyman in this movie.
Yeah. Well,
and we definitely hear his voice in the trailer.
Is it his voice or is it? Because I don't know if it's his voice or if it's been treated. And also, this is just going off IMDb stuff, so it could not necessarily accurate.
It could be a melding.
It could be a melding.
Them up because my suspicion being is that this seems to be leaning into soft reboot territory, the same way Halloween 2018.
Oh, totally.
The same way Force Awakens did. There's definitely an element of passing the torch.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
This. And Tony Todd as well. When the film early 2019, when the film was, I was reading up on this the other day. Early 2019, when the film was announced,
yes,
Tony Todd was asked about it in an interview, and he said, like, he says, I wish them the best of luck. He was like, it's an incredible myth, and I'm so honoured to have been a part of it, and the pedigree behind this, like, it's going to be an amazing take, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. And it's like, oh, great, cool. And then 2 months later, it was announced that he had been approached to be in it.
Yeah.
So I get the sense that he was, it was obviously one of those where, like, it was going to happen. He was not a part of it, but the writer has always intended him to be in it.
Yes.
And then they obviously tossed around, like, do we do this? Is it too aggressive? And then they've done it. Yeah. So I think if they're getting him in, they're not just getting him in for, like, a brief flash. Like, maybe, like, just one scene, but I don't think it's just going to be like, there he is!
Well, they might just be getting him in for voiceover.
Maybe.
Because, I mean,
Mayhaps.
He was born in 54. He's in his fucking 70s at this point, nearly. So... late 60s, so it's not...
But hey, maybe that's the idea. Maybe the spirit's dwindling.
Maybe.
It needs a new host. I think it looks really great.
I think it looks really good. I think you will have a deeper appreciation of where it's going once you see the original. Which I think still really holds up as a neat sort of psychological horror movie. It's not as much of a slasher as you might think it is.
No.
It's more
it's a boogeyman movie, more in the vein of like an It Follows than a Nightmare on Elm Street.
It's almost like a ghost story movie in a way as well. But
bit of Dracula.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the seduction of a otherworldly force. But there's nothing seductive about Michael Myers, who is coming back once again. Again, delayed from last year, coming out this October. Halloween Kills, the first of 2 sequels to the David Gordon Green, Danny McBride reboot / sequel.
Yes, the third film in the third series.
Yes, the third second sequel to Halloween. Yeah. The second sequel to the original Halloween.
Technically, in the 4th series, if you count Halloween 3 as its own thing. Which gets a massive shout out in this trailer.
Yeah, that's true.
Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Just fucking... So, we get
which I think is the best
is,
Halloween sequel of the original crop.
It is so good.
It's fucking bonkers.
And people hate it because it's not Michael Myers. And it's like, do you know what? If you just re-released it now and just called it Season of the Witch, people would dig it.
People hate it because it makes no fucking sense.
Oh, true.
But it's just weird, but it's great.
Shit.
It's great.
And it's got some brilliant visual. Like, I've never looked at, like, a decayed mask and freaked out as much as I have with that. Like, it's the visual of it's so it's horrid. So, but yeah, in this, like, we get confirmation in this trailer for Halloween Kills that yes, this takes place pretty much the next day after Halloween 2018.
Oh, later the same night.
Yeah, picking straight up from the ambulances and the fire department going back to the house as Laurie Strode and her family head the other way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get also the reconfirmation that this is a Halloween movie. Here's some dead people in Halloween masks. They just happen to be the Silver Shamrock masks, which is a nice nod.
And also finding out exactly how Michael survives.
Yes.
The house fire at the end of 2018 Halloween, which we kind of suspected was going to be the case anyway.
I also love that they're avoiding what the Halloween sequels initially started to do, which was go, oh no, it's definitely supernatural.
They hint
Here's
at it.
Paul Rudd to look into it, into the arcane.
There's some dialogue from Laurie that hints at it.
But more so the idea of like he endures because he is pure evil.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily like he endures because he was brought to life by a satanic cult and a ritual. He's the essence of pure evil, and that is why he's not easy to kill. And it's like, well, that's not a scientific thing, but also it makes him scarier. It's like the trailer brings back the boogeyman thing. And it's like, that's what he fucking is. Like, he's the shape. This thing is indescribable and terrifying and just blunt. That's what's so scary about Michael Myers. He's blunt.
Oh, he's blunt, but his tools ain't.
Oh, shit!
Ooh, yeah, this is a surprisingly violent trailer.
And yet they still cut away.
Yeah.
At sort of key points. Except for one moment with a strip light.
Oh, that's great. That's
horrible.
Really good. It's really good.
So, Halloween Kills Part 3 of the 2018 rejigged series.
It's the second sequel.
78, 2018, 2020.
2021.
Now, and 2022.
2021, 2022.
Halloween ends
next year. Which I believe has been shot. I believe they shot them back to back.
Yeah, I think the ending of that one was compromised a bit by lockdown because they were doing either reshoots or finishing the initial production.
Yeah,
and they did shoot them. They shot them together back to back, but they shot them chronologically.
Yes.
So
because I imagine they'll all take place the same night.
Yeah. Oh God, can you imagine that? 3 movies. I mean, then again, that's in the tradition. Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2 takes place the same night.
It picks up from the end of it. So yeah.
So weird.
So it looks like this will probably be Halloween Kills, which is technically Halloween 3, is picking up a lot some of the same ideas.
If you're too pure with Michael Myers, Halloween 3, 2.
Yeah, Halloween 3, 2. Which is picking up from the same...
Not to be confused with Rob Zombie's unmade movie Halloween 3, 0.1.
Oh, God. Halloween 3.3 is going to be picking up...
Halloween 3, but with a 3 like cubed, like the Alien 3 title card. Yeah.
Halloween Cubed is going to be picking up probably similar themes and ideas from Halloween 2, 1.
Yeah. What?
Halloween 1,
I mean,
2.
Laurie's in the hospital.
Laurie's in the hospital.
That's the Halloween 2, that's how it starts for her. She's in the hospital. So, the trauma end of it all, like getting seen over.
Looks like there's a gang of people going after Michael as well.
Yeah.
Other survivors, perhaps?
The last movie... because the first movie's great because it's just like, we are aware of Michael as an audience.
Yeah.
And then he slowly makes him, the neighbourhood aware of him over the course of the kills that he does. But it's very much the first one, he's very much more a stealthy entity. Like, he's just doing his business and not getting noticed. The 2018 one is very much we know this thing has escaped.
Well, yeah, you've got that character who's one of the policemen who brought him in on the original night.
Yeah.
That ends well.
That's sort of the second one in this series is like, we know he's out there.
Yeah.
So this time it is, what would be the natural response to knowing he's still out there? You send everything you fucking got at him to take him out. So I think it's an absolutely natural, organic progression of it, and it will mean that it doesn't just feel like, here we go again.
Which I think people are more willing to do now, is just willing to extrapolate out from an idea rather than be like, okay, what can we do to make this horror sequel bigger and nastier and bloodier? It's a case of, okay, we want to escalate, but we want to escalate naturally. Yeah. So how do we do that? I think that's why a lot of horror franchises now are a bit more consistent in their sequels. Yeah. Like the Saw movies, I don't know if they're good, but they're at least consistent. In terms of their themes and the ideas. It gets overblown. Like, the drama of it is just like, oh wow, this is insanely complex. But
we now have 3 plot lines about copycat Jigsaw
yeah,
killers.
exactly. But it's there's a consistency of tone and what they're working towards, which you don't get in horror franchises that started in like the late 70s, early 80s.
Because it just becomes about, that did good money.
Yeah, I mean,
do it again.
Look at Friday the 13th as a series.
Yeah.
I mean, I have, mostly. And,
I'm so sorry.
They're nearly all bad, but that's the only thing that really unites them in terms of theme.
Does make me wonder about, because Halloween has kind of unlocked. I think Halloween 2018 was sort of the linchpin. It's sort of unlocked a lot of these older horror franchises now for new entries.
Yeah, I think so.
Because we now have Candyman following on from it. Evil Dead Rises has started production.
Yes, they're talking about a Hellraiser TV show.
Yeah, so it's like, it's kind of, it's some might argue, well, technically didn't Prometheus? No.
No.
So like, well, didn't Alien Covenant?
No.
So, didn't the Predator? No. Although I'm still excited. I'm still excited to see where it goes now that it's in Disney's hands.
Yeah, because they're going to do it. They're going to do more of it.
Yeah. They're going to absolutely ignore the Predator. They're going to fucking ignore it.
I need to read more of that current Alien Marvel series. I've only read the first issue.
Yeah.
It's good. What I read of it is very good.
I need to get on Unlimited. I was going to say next paycheck, but at the moment, priorities next paycheck. I'll probably pay for an Unlimited.
Wait till you get a bunch of money and then get a year's.
I was going to pay for the because it would be like £70 UK money. The 900. Oh my god, the $99 version for the first year. So that I get the Unlimited thing and that random fucking like goodie bag of stuff. For year one.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like, I'm sorry, there's a Kamala Khan Ms. Marvel figure wearing like a homemade Spider-Man version of her costume.
Oh, speaking of
that's cute as hell.
Speaking of subscription services, before we go on to the sort of TV recap of the week,
the crap.
You know hang on. You know how everyone's launched a subscription service?
Oh no, there's not another.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Games Workshop have launched a subscription service.
How? What?
Because they've spent the last 2 or 3 years just going around, getting a bunch of different animation studios to produce different animations for them, going to people who do fan films and saying, "Hey, do you want to come work for us directly?"
I mean, cool. I'm loving the idea of collaborative expression, but like, as a subscription service,
yeah.
Do you get anything else other than access to fan films?
Yeah,
you do.
Well, they're not fan films anymore. They're actual GW
in-house productions.
Produced in-house.
Okay, I mean, do you know what? In that case, I'm all for it as an experiment because they're like giving new filmmakers a chance to work on stuff.
Yeah, and it's all explicit. Like, it's all animation.
Yeah, they're finding new talent.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Basically,
but that's a lot to ask of a potential audience to be like, so come pay money.
Yeah.
To us monthly for this. It's like, I think it feels like you need to just do one big release of some kind to a market on a certain budget, see how it plays, and then.
Well, they're launching. They're launching on the 25th of August.
Yeah. With
the first 2 episodes of 2 of the series that they're doing. Plus, they've got a bunch of in-house produced shows, like there's painting masterclasses, lore shows. Battle report shows, which is all stuff that fans have been making on YouTube for years,
and they've finally gone, do you know what?
Well, let's produce these in house.
Let's work with you.
Make it part of so that's part of it. The apps that they have for 40k and Age of Sigmar, which is like rules and army building apps, they're included in the subscription as well.
Okay,
because they have their own subscriptions. Their digital back issues of their White Dwarf magazine and all like digital versions.
That's a selling point for your already hooked audience. I think for the Warhammer audience that already exists.
Yes, Games
Workshop audiences and everyone who's in the tabletop stuff. If they see that, if I subscribe to this, I get complete access to all the White Dwarf back catalogue.
Yes,
that would be like we were waiting for the DC Universe app to rest in peace. Yeah. We were waiting for the DC Universe app to come to the UK because it meant access to the complete back catalogue of the comics. Like, that was the exciting thing to me.
Yes.
The shows were a bonus. I was like, I'll watch a Swamp Thing show, sure.
Yeah.
Again, RIP. Dead way before its time because it was actually fucking excellent. But anyway.
Yes.
Got the Blu-ray now.
Of course.
I was like, I just don't want it. I just want to be able to go back and watch that horrifically uncomfortable under the skin gore of that show whenever I like, and now I can. And it's only a 15 certificate. That surprised me. Anyway,
You get away with a lot in 15 nowadays.
That's true.
Initially it's only the 2020 issues of White Dwarf, but they're gonna add new stuff every week. Like old books, stories, putting all that stuff up on there. You're gonna get like perks at official events, VIP badges, priority access, free merch, etc., etc.
Okay, so there's sort of a Patreon subscription model kind of thing of like you will get bonuses if you become part of this.
And you get a
fan club,
free
old school fan club.
Yeah, and you get a free exclusive miniature.
Okay.
You get a choice of 2, but you can buy the other if you're a subscriber.
Nifty. What's the? Have they put up a price tag yet, or what it would be?
No, but they will probably be expensive because they look very nice. I'll show you them in a sec.
Oh no, I mean the subscription service itself.
Oh yeah, $4.99.
Okay, that's not bad.
Or 50 for the year.
That's even better. So if you are already in the life, you're guaranteed to want to do this. The way the model will sustain though is if they'll be able to reach people beyond the already grabbed audience.
I think the animations...
Because that's part of why DC Universe died on its ass.
As the animations come out more, and they've already announced at least, I think, 6 or 7 shows and shown bits of them.
Okay.
That they're including a couple of fan projects that have now been upgraded to like the Astartes fan film, which everyone loved. They went to them and said... He was already working on a sequel to that.
Yeah.
And they went to him and said, hey, come and do it for our Warhammer subscription service. And like, okay.
Hey! You made that unlicensed fan film about our stuff, and he's like,
which games which we've been famous for doing.
Yeah.
They're famously litigious and protective of their IP.
Oh, so they Back to the Future 2'd him.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I've got something for you. Oh God, this letter. Oh God. It's a contract asking for me to come work for you.
Yeah.
Thank God. He's alive. He's in the Old West, but he's alive.
Astartes 2 is part of the big promotion for this, so because people they know what people want.
Does that mean upper management have become more sort of open to the idea of fan collaboration in a very visible way? Hopefully it's not a hollow gesture. Hopefully they mean it, and this is the way going forward.
You'd think so, but
do you hear that, Doctor Who licensees?
Yeah.
Back the fuck off.
But they've also got these are the 2 exclusive miniatures for the launch.
Ooh, okay.
And so you get to choose one of them, basically.
That's pretty cool.
And then there's going to be a new one every year.
Shit. So like on year 1, you pick one of 2, and you can buy the other if you want, if you're a subscriber.
Yeah.
And then year 2, you're going to get another one as like a little cheeky little bonus.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Do you know what? I'll take back what I said in terms of the Death of a Thousand Cuts thing. Because this isn't strictly just a pay us to watch stuff.
This is not going to be a Disney Plus like wide thing. This is going to be something that a dedicated subset of people who are already fans of this material are going to deep dive on.
Yeah,
like me. It's
the old school fan clubs that like used to still exist, but used to exist a bit more when we were younger. It's that same kind of thing. It's like you sign up, you get free stuff, you get sent something every month.
Yeah.
Whereas in this case, a new thing will be uploaded for you to watch every month or read every month.
Well, probably it'll be every week. Like there'll be new like digital new stuff going to the digital vault every week. There'll be new episodes of the animations every week. Obviously, if there's once they finish a season, it'll be the next show or whatever. But I think they've already ordered. I think they've already shown off like 6 or 7. I was going to see if I find a list of the shows here.
Matt's trying to find a list of the shows here. Matt's trying to find the shows.
You've got the Angels of Death, which is a CG animated show about a bunch of Blood Angel Space Marines fighting Chaos Cultists. The first episode of that's launching, and then there's an anthology show called Hammer and Bolter. The first episode of that's launching on day 1.
Yeah.
And then what other stuff have they announced? They've announced the Astartes 2. They've announced the Exodite, which is, I think, about a Tau scout, and that's an alien race. They've got an Imperial Guard based ongoing show. They've got some weird. Let me see if I can find a list of the shows. 11 shows they've got. So what?
Nearly a baker's dozen.
I know, right? So we've got the Angels of Death is 10-part animated series, 10 episodes. Pariah Nexus about the Necrons. Hammer and Bolt is an anthology series, which is going to be about stuff from Age of Sigmar, which is fantasy, or 40k, which is sci-fi. Interrogator is like a sort of like a crime show about a like a sort of trainee inquisitor. Astartes 2 is coming. Altar of Wrath, which I think is like a Age of Sigmar thing. You got something called Black Talon, which I know nothing about. You got the Exodite. So fan artists such as Richard Boylan and Siama Pedersen have all gone into that. There's 2D animation. There's the 3D CGI animation going for like photorealistic style. There's more stylized stuff. It's kind of like the Animatrix as a subscription service. So it looks like it could be interesting. And we'll see what it's like when it starts. But yeah, it's a media streaming thing plus also like a VIP subscription for like a fan club thing rolled into one. So it could be. We'll see how it goes. I mean, they've made a lot of smart business decisions over the last couple of years, and they've to the point where it got them through the lockdown pretty nicely, where a lot of other industries and companies sort of struggled. So this could be good, and it could be good for the exposure of the brand, because they've also got a live-action adaptation of one of their novel series in development over at Amazon. So
that could be the hook to bring in sort of the more mainstream audience.
Yeah, so
like this? We got more over here, baby.
The Eisenhorn novels, which were written by Dan Abnett, who also co-wrote the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff that the movies are based on. Mm-hmm. He's a fairly prolific comics writer as well as a novel writer. He does a lot of stuff for a lot of fiction for Games Workshop. Writes a lot of the game stuff that they do and all that kind of thing. He wrote this really popular series of novels about Inquisitor Eisenhorn. That's being adapted into an Amazon live action series. So there's they're getting the brand out there in a way, because they're an IP business essentially. They license their IP. The models and the game are just ways they leverage their IP. That's what it started out as games, and now it's just an IP leverage company. So yeah, interesting. Back to subscription services. What did we watch? What did we watch this week? Gone, Chris.
Loki episode 3.
Loki.
Spoilers ahead, but there's not really much to spoil.
Loki and Sylvie.
Yes, freaking Sylvie. We have a name for the Loki variant.
Yeah, you know who else is called Sylvie?
Who?
The Enchantress.
Really? So, is this the Enchantress, or is this the MCU's take on the Enchantress? Is just like, oh,
well, she does go around enchanting people.
It's just a different Loki. Like in the MCU, our take on the Enchantress is just a Loki variant. There you go. Same way that like Iron Man 2 featured Whiplash, but he was also the Crimson Dynamo. And they just kind of merged some characters together. Which, like, as a lover of the Thor comics, like, part of me's like, it would be fun to see a sorceress character being like, Chris Hemsworth, fuck me! No. Aww. Like, like, it would be fun to see that as a plot, but it also would be kind of, considering the MCU is very sort of, I don't want to say sexless, but it's like, people aren't motivated in these films necessarily by, like, what they want to do with their junk. Do you know what I mean? So it would be something weird to throw in a character who was like, I just want to bone Thor, and, like, that's their angle. And obviously you could be more nuanced with that. The Enchantress isn't just that in the comics. There are ways to play with it and do all the stuff with it, but I can see them going, this is more of a this is more of an Iron Man villain situation. Because like nearly every Iron Man villain in the movies isn't a translation of a direct villain from the comics. It's like an amalgamation of other ideas. So here you get to have your Lady Loki cake.
Yeah.
And eat it.
Well, her comics origin, the comics version of Sylvie Lushton, is a girl from Broxton who is made into the Enchantress by Loki.
So is this in the JMS era?
Post that, I think, yeah.
Yes, this is after so the original Enchantress is gone in Ragnarok.
I think the original Enchantress is still around.
Oh, so there are two Enchantresses?
Yeah, this is not Aurora.
Right.
This is
I was going to say, like, is Sylvia
sort of-
Mora? Is that her name?
No,
Okay.
Sylvie Lushton.
Okay.
But she takes the name of the Enchantress after she's given these powers by Loki. She doesn't know at first that Loki's given her these powers.
Okay.
But yeah.
So it's sort of, they are having their cake and eating it. They're going, hey, you guys want Enchantress? We're not going to do Enchantress, but we're going to do an Enchantress.
It could just be a neat...
And it's a nod to Lady Loki, which is from the same era.
Yeah, it could... She could actually be...
Because we don't know why she's called herself Sylvie yet.
No.
Like, I love the idea that she's like, I'm not Loki, don't call me Loki. And it's like, when you see her name, because it's now been pointed out online, you saw her name on some paperwork in episode 2 before the reveal.
Okay.
He's just going through the variants of himself, paperwork, whatever, and one of the pieces of paper is the name Sylvie Laufey daughter.
Laufey daughter, yeah.
Laufey daughter, yeah. Because so it's like, oh! So Loki, Laufey's son, who had assumed he was Loki Odin's son all this time. Like, yeah, okay, interesting. So it was there in everyone's face in Ep 2, but not obvious, and it's like, that's kind of cool. But yeah, okay, so it's sort of their way of going, Enchantress and Lady Loki, tick. Like, there you go. Yeah. And I love the discussions between them in this of like, so what, is it possession? No, it's enchantment. Right, well, how do you do that? Well, that's what it means, and la 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 la. They go into the specifics of how her powers work a lot without demonstrating it in this episode too much.
Yes.
Which has led a lot of people online to hypothesize, and I'm like, ooh, I think you're onto something here, that maybe this entire episode didn't happen.
Possible, but I think you see too much of it that doesn't directly involve her for that to be the case.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. I was interested that this is a two-hander. I felt like this was almost a step back tonally. But then again, it ends with an apocalypse, so...
Yes. That's a hell of a cliffhanger.
They can ramp up the craziness next week. But it was interesting that the episode just basically turned into, I have our way home. I am the one who knows how to use it. Well, I guess we're going to have to work together, despite the fact we clearly want to kill each other.
Yeah.
and it was just a chance for, what's her name? Sophie DiMartino. Sophie DiMartino, that's it. Sophie DiMartino and Tom Hiddleston to play off of each other.
Yeah.
I loved the opening.
Yes.
The opening was great.
Yes.
Because you just suddenly like, hang on, why is terrible accent lady from Hellboy having a margarita?
That's her name now.
In Hawaii or whatever with Lady Loki. What is going on? Like, I thought that was great, but that's part of the theory that maybe the whole episode was in Loki's head, because later on, of course, they have an extended scene sat at a table, same framing. Loki's the only one drinking.
So it could well be the case.
She also does like try to enchant him at one point, and it doesn't work, and and he's like, well, obviously my mind's too strong.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but then later on he's like, so how does it work? And she goes into a description and says like, with people's stronger minds, it takes time. You have to like seed it. And it's like, oh, did something happen there when she touched him? Like, from that point on, was it all a fantasy? There's some really odd moments in this that took me out of it a little bit. During the apocalypse, a building's about to collapse on him, and he sort of, like, seemingly wills it to go back up. End of Doctor Strange style-y.
Which is not something we've seen him do before.
Yeah. So, did he actually do it?
Yeah. That's odd.
Yeah. Although I do love the idea of, like, it's the apocalypse thing. It's like, we could do whatever the fuck we want. It won't matter because the world is going to end for these people.
Yeah.
And then the episode ends with the rocket that they are going... Because their whole thing is, right, we've broken the... I keep calling it a pit boy. Like, we've broken the big giant watch thing.
The Tempat.
That's it. We've broken the Tempat. So how do we get out of the situation? We fix the apocalypse so that the TVA have to come in to investigate. And that's how we get back. Like, we hijack them and get back. But then they arrive at the end and the rocket that they're going to fix blows the fuck up. And it's like, oh.
Which is what was always supposed to happen.
Yeah. So the cliffhanger's really nice, but I enjoyed the episode, but at the same time, it was the first one that made me kind of go, where are we going with this? What's happening? Because I sort of don't know what the objective of the series is now. I'm a bit confused.
It's going to be about the timekeepers, because we've now had the revelation
that was the best nugget.
Yeah. That the people who are part of the TVA are all variants.
Yeah. Which is why she was able to conjure up that hallucination for terrible accent Hellboy lady.
Yeah. She's pulling from her.
She used to be someone who lived on Earth
Yeah.
and had a life. And it's like, okay, that's... Huh.
Presumably Mobius was.
Yeah.
Presumably Mobius maybe liked jet skis before...
Yes! Yes! Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, right, so how deep does this run? And, oh God, what's the name of the judge lady?
Renslayer.
Renslayer, of course, yes, right, Kang, blah, blah. Renslayer, is she the only one who knows different?
Does she know different?
Is she herself a mind-wiped variant? Because that's the implication.
Yeah.
That they all either have been there so long they've forgotten, and it's just like, eons of time
I think it's
pass,
more likely they've been mind-wiped.
or they've been mind-wiped, yeah, because it's like, and is that what sort of Renslayer sort of hoping happens with Loki? Like, Mobius has a hunch, and she's kind of hoping that they'll keep Loki around long enough that they can just, like, make him part of it and be like, and moving on, like, nothing to see here. He's just, oh, that guy, yeah, that's Loki. He works in Department 7. And do you know what I mean? Or is that why she's keeping such a close eye on it? Because it's like, now this guy's not as easy as the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... There's something going on with that, with the Timekeepers, or whatever is the Timekeepers and calls itself the Timekeepers. It's going to be Kang, in it.
It's going
to be Kang.
Is it?
Kang, who plays with travelling through time. Like,
listen,
it wouldn't exactly
every time
hurt if he was establishing, like, the methodology to monitor all of time.
Every time.
How do you one-up Thanos? You go, well, this guy could literally go back to when Thanos was born and throw him in a toilet.
Every time.
Because that's how you kill babies, right? You throw them in toilets.
Yeah, that's what you do. They can't.
I was reading Thanos Rising again yesterday, and I'm pretty sure I was dozing off, but I'm pretty sure it ends with his mum throwing him in a toilet.
Yeah. That makes sense. So every time that we,
I joke, but I was reading Thanos Rising again last night.
Every time that we or thee or someone else has been talking about, oh, this thing in this show is going to be X, Y, or Z, we're always wrong.
Yeah, well, that's true.
We're always wrong.
And I'd like to be proved wrong. We are proud members of the Ralph Boner was a great decision club.
Yeah.
Like, we are
all
fucking
for
delighted with that. We think it's amazing.
Don't show me things that, especially because Kanisha guesses everything right. Don't show me things
She's
that
really
Kanisha
good at
guesses.
that.
She's fucking terribly good at it. She's literally terribly good at it. There are no surprises where she's concerned if she's watching something and decides to share her thoughts with you. So
she's gotten good at holding it back and be like,
yeah, she's gotten good at shutting the fuck up.
I won't tell you unless you want to talk about it. It's like, okay.
Okay. And then I have to ask because I'm curious. So I think, yeah, I kind of like the fact that I don't know where it's going because, and I don't really want to spend time thinking about where it's going, particularly because I don't want to, I've got to guard my heart.
Aww.
Guard your hearts.
Because what is love? Love is a dagger and all that stuff.
Love is it is a fake dagger.
I liked it. My result isn't, that was amazing. My result is I'm more anticipatory of where it's going now. I want to see where we go with it.
Yes.
Did you see the other Disney Plus Marvel show tidbit that snuck out this week?
No.
So quite a few folks have been going back to rewatch WandaVision. Because, we're now at the point where there are 2 other shows in full series to watch if you are, like, between Loki episodes and fancy a bit more MCU TV. You can go back and rewatch WandaVision or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And a few have spotted that the post-credit scene for WandaVision has been day 2 patched.
What?
The scene in question is the one where the camera pans to a lake and a forest, and as the camera gets close, there is a cabin, and Wanda is sat outside drinking coffee. The camera zooms through, and inside, an astral projection of Wanda as the Scarlet Witch is flicking through the dark cold and hears the voices of her children.
Yes.
Some have noticed that since, a denser layer of trees have been added to the environment. Comparison slides of what it looked like on release and what it looks like now show that it is definitely, I'll bring up the pics for you, it is definitely a thicker row of trees.
Tell me about this thicker row.
Which is kind of odd, because you're like, well, that's not anything important. Like, maybe just they were a bit like, do you know what, we kind of like the environment to look a little different. Like, why not? Maybe the team were just a bit dissatisfied with the shot. Let's tweak it. So I'll show you now. That is how it looked in March of 2021.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's how it looks in June of 2021.
That's odd.
It's weird, right?
That's odd.
Really, really freaking weird. Not only that, some folks have noticed a shape.
Oh no.
There is something in the far corner of the shot.
Oh no.
So here's again March 2021, as it is.
Yeah.
March 2022. There's something. Sorry, March 2022. What the fuck?
Well,
June 2021. There's something up there that some people have spotted. Something. No, some have speculated. Oh, for Christ's sake, it's a droplet on the camera.
that's.
Or
what is that?
maybe it's just visually whatever.
God, we're getting into emergency or something.
But then here's footage. Top corner up there. There is something drifting through the shot. Now again, speculation. It's a droplet of water on the camera. Cool, but here's the thing: it's a completely digital composited shot. As now
so it's gotta be
confirmed by the
deliberate.
trees. It may be a physical cabin set and a genuinely real Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, it's probably a real Elizabeth Olsen.
But it is a digitally composited shot. That is a triangular wafting shape that is drifting down.
It's the time scoop!
But others have noticed.
Oh, fuck me. Why are we doing this?
Because it's just interesting. It's
It
like,
is interesting.
I'd be like, you're reaching there, guys. But then I saw the comparison shot of the trees, and I was like, yeah, no, someone has gone in and digitally added a shitload more forest. That's weird. That is weird. Yeah, okay, here we go. So, this is where the speculation is coming from. In the music of that moment...
Oh, God.
In the music, there is an added theme woven into the score of her reading The Darkhold.
Okay.
That was not previously there.
Oh, okay.
The credits themselves have amended to include that too.
Oh.
So the music page on that episode,
Yes.
additional music, Michael blah blah, score coordinator, Tyler Weston, score mixed by Doctor Strange theme composed by Michael Giacchino.
Okay.
Couple that with the triangular wafting, floating, potentially astral-looking thing in the top corner,
Alright.
and it looks like they might be tying it into Multiverse of Madness. So it's entirely possible there's a scene in Multiverse of Madness, which we know stars Elizabeth Olsen as the Scarlet Witch, that they are going to... there's a scene in that film that picks up at this moment.
I hate it.
I know, right?
I hate it so much.
I know, right? It's
Because-
like, it's fucking ridiculous, but why would they go back and add a shitload of more visuals? Unless they have shot a scene continuing on from that moment with her, and the location filming they've done looks a bit different.
I really
so
hope...
they've gone in and tweaked it so that if you do watch them back to back, they match.
I really hope they're wrong, because if they're right, it's going to be the Dr. Manhattan's fingernail thing from the Watchmen show all over again.
True. Okay.
Which was just
Yeah.
so infuriating that they were right.
But I don't mind this if it's real.
I mean, it's neat.
And it's because
It's neat.
and it's because there's a reason in Multiverse of Madness. Then it's kind of cool because it means as they've made it, they've gone, oh, actually, do you know what? If we could have him be there because he arrives there in astral form or whatever, like moments later, we could set that up. Could you add that in? That's not bad.
That's, yeah.
One of the benefits of it being on a streaming service is that they can do that if they want.
And also, they've said they're not going to do the physical releases of these, which is kind of sucks.
They've tweaked the statement since. They've said that there are currently no plans for physical releases.
Okay.
Because, that was they're not doing physical releases of the Disney Plus shows, and everyone went, right, well, fucking hang on, I get it. Those of us who are watching it have already paid for the service, but you're also talking to a market of an audience that, like, a portion of your audience that are a market for people who would buy physical releases, who would like to also own it physically. You also have people who won't buy Disney Plus because they don't want to do it to watch the shows. But if you said to them, $20 for the box set, they go, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Do you know what I mean? Like that's you're losing money by keeping it exclusive. Because Netflix do it. Netflix, like a couple years after a show's release.
Yeah, they take their
DVD.
time, but they do it.
And they don't make that's the trick, they don't make a fanfare of it.
No.
They're not like, Stranger Things, the box set, available now. Like, it just quietly releases. So people will normally go, oh, you want to watch Stranger Things? You should subscribe to Netflix.
Where's my Hemlock Grove box set? Where's my Lilyhammer, the complete series? Because I think those are both gone now. I don't think you can watch them anymore.
Yeah, they're just quietly off the pop.
It's like, well, they didn't work.
And this is why physical media is still superior, folks, because you can still fucking own a thing after your digital overlords get rid of it. It's fuck me sideways. Anyway,
no.
Speaking of fucking me sideways, correspondence.
Oh, before we do,
Yeah.
before we get into correspondence, can I just ask you, one thing?
Yeah.
Are you Mr. Nimbus? Can you control the police?
Matt, Mr. Nimbus can control the police. How do you not know this? Yeah, fuck. Rick and Morty season 5. Oh my god.
Can we just say, we're just going to say, Mr. Nimbus is great. The time travel mechanic was great. All the sort of differing timelines thing was really neat. And
Fantastic Four is clearly a favourite of the writers' room.
They fucking love Fantastic Four.
They fucking love it. I mean, so the Council of Ricks has been a thing. And
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and now we have Mr. Namor Imbus.
Yeah.
Who seemingly has a history with Rick and his late wife.
And is horny as shit.
Horny as shit, wears his tiny little Speedo, and also calls him Richard.
Yes.
And it's like, you are showing your Fantastic Four fandom right now. It is nuts how much this is inspiring you. But I also love that the title's like My Richter Mortandre. And it's like, it's a shit take on My Dinner with Andre.
Yeah.
And it sort of leads you into thinking that the episode's going to be two people sat at a table talking.
Yeah.
And then that turns out to be the joint B plot of the episode. Rick is the B plot of the episode. Beth and Jerry's experimental sex life is the other joint B plot of the episode.
Yes.
Summer off on a separate adventure is the C plot of the episode.
Let's lick some tits.
I love that that's a continuing thread. It's like, Summer's basically better than you. So, Summer is technically now Rick's favourite grandchild. But the show's called Rick and Morty, so the show will never go away.
Well, she's the
Morty.
competent one, so he can trust her to do things on her own.
The main plot with Morty and the Time Door is some of the smartest
it's really good.
fucking sci-fi I've ever seen, made even better by its misuse as just a farcical comedy bit.
Yeah, which is what Rick and Morty does really well.
Yeah.
Actually.
I'm getting Series 1 vibes again. The second half of last series was very Series 1. And I liked that, because Series 1 was, hey, what if Red Dwarf, but really crude?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm here for this.
Yeah, I'm
here for this.
I can see that.
Clever sci-fi premise, completely and purposefully undermined by stupid and ridiculous characters.
Yes.
I loved it.
Like Mr. Nimbus.
Mr. Nimbus!
I hope we see more Mr. Nimbus, but at the same time, I hope we don't. Because
they make a joke about that. They make a joke about, why the old bird people get a new fucking idea and all this stuff. And it's this whole thing of, they have mocked the idea of continuity in the show before.
Yeah.
And then they give you little threads. So, last year, we got the wrap-up of Tammy and Phoenix Person. But it wasn't essential. And early in the same series, they even mocked the idea of even returning to it. So why would we do that? What's the fucking point? And then later in the series, they're like, oh, go on. But it serviced the Beth clone story instead. That's the story we're telling.
Yeah.
And
which they're quite good at doing when they want to.
And they're definitely never going to do another interdimensional cable.
Although we did get a little
because they dangled it in front of us again this time.
Nintendo 69.
Yeah.
Which I think is it's such a great little throwaway gag.
And then Rick later on, just mentioned he wants to.
They're very good at that.
I really good season opener. Really, really strong. Made for a nice double bill last week because the UK has finally got Harley Quinn series 2.
Yeah,
and I think they were waiting for Rick and Morty because they're both on Monday nights now. It's back to back Rick and Morty, Harley Quinn.
Yeah, okay.
On E4, so I watch it on catch up on Tuesdays as a double bill. Harley Quinn Series 2, this isn't a review, because, if you're an American listener, you saw it a year ago. We in the UK are only now just getting it legally. It's fucking ridiculous how long it's taken. Really strong season opener. they are happy to kill off characters you don't think you'd kill off in a DC property.
And yet Batman
zero
can't go
fucks
down on
ag-
Catwoman.
Oh, God.
Fucking prudes, man.
Can I just say that last week's thumbnails are my proudest work for this podcast?
They were excellent, I thought.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had to skirt every possible potential complaint. I was like, well, how do you know what he's doing? How do you even know that's Batman's head?
Yeah.
That's a toy, so obviously he's not performing a sex act because it's a toy.
Yeah, smooth.
Yeah.
Like a Barbie doll.
Like a goddamn baba da haul. Speaking of smooth like a Barbie doll.
Give us some correspondence from the old
Twitter. We got a question in from lovely Sean Lindsay. Hello, Sean.
Sean
Sean would like to know, what is
Yes.
your show, movie, or game that is like unequivocally bad, but you enjoy the most? Like, so not even guilty pleasure, like proud filth dip. What is our like proud filth dip?
What are the options? Show, film, and
show, film, or game? Like something with just everyone unequivocally. The world is like, this is fucking terrible. And again, we've talked about this before. There is a difference between objective and subjective opinion. Subjective opinion is personal.
Yeah.
It is never wrong. It is how you feel about it, and that is not. It cannot be wrong. Objective opinion. That's about objectivity, about deconstructing it. It's not necessarily wrong, but like it can sort of be argued and thingied. This, I guess, would be something that is universally seen. So like 90% of its audience is like, this is trash.
I think I've got one of each for these, actually.
Oh, really?
Show is the 80s Transformers TV show. It's awful.
Okay, yeah, it's one of those that on revisits people don't like it, but anyone who grew up with it adores it.
By the same token, I could also say Xena and Warrior Princess. No, that is
I don't know, I think that's knowing. It's knowing that though. Whenever it is cheesy, it knows.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an actual bad show that I really love, that being said. That's widely recognised as a bad show. Not that I've watched recently, anyway.
This one is retroactively seen as a bad show. Like, as it went on, people began to acknowledge how fucking terrible it is.
Yeah.
And as a result, then began to reassess what they'd watched for the past, 5 seasons.
Yes.
But I remember watching the first half season, because obviously they had mid-season finales.
Yeah.
Of Glee in 2010.
Okay, yeah.
And really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I don't say that as in I would go back and watch it, but as in no. I know it isn't great, really, but there was enough in that I think partially it was because it was like the one bonding exercise me and my flatmate had for a while.
I also guess...
And we quite enjoyed taking the piss and talking about what we enjoyed.
I also guess it's because Glee's one of those shows that's kind of... it's flavoured by knowing what we know about some of those performers now.
Oh, Tarnished Legacy.
So, yeah.
That show is a fucking dumpster fire of
And to be fair, there's plenty of those around.
Yeah. But on the plus side, the Sue meme of I'm going to make a blank that is so blank will live on.
Yeah.
And that is funny. I never tire of seeing that online. I genuinely think that is one of the funniest recurring memes ever.
On the subject of film, there's so many
I'm going to make a musical TV series that is so mired in personal controversies.
Film. All of them are bad.
Every film.
There's so many bad films.
All film. Daredevil 2003. I can't not enjoy it. I always enjoy it. I know it's not good.
Oh, Van Helsing.
Oh, see, I can't
Van
enjoy
Helsing.
That.
I love
enjoy
it. I love it. Blade Trinity.
Yeah, I mean, then again, that's more enjoyable knowing about the behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's also true. Oh god, there's so many for films, really bad films that I love.
Van Helsing, man. Oh,
Van Helsing. It's the way forward.
I am. Hello.
It's
so good. Part of the Richard Roxburgh early 2000s bad guy trilogy.
It's so good.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Van Helsing, Moulin Rouge.
See, League of
You
Extraordinary-
watch those three, just watching them of the opinion that this is a Richard Roxburgh trilogy, and you come out and going, wow, this guy is simultaneously great and fucking terrible at the same time.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is, to coin a phrase, so bad it's bad.
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
Yeah, there's no redeem.
There's nothing redeeming in it.
Van Helsing is terrible, but it's great fun. It's really good fun. Also, people don't like The Mummy Returns, but I really like The Mummy Returns.
Oh, The Mummy Returns is great. I mean, it's Mummy Returns suffers from Ghostbusters 2 syndrome. It's like, do you like the first one? We're going to do it again, but slightly remixed. And if you like the first one, then hey, it's just more, but ultimately it is a pointless movie.
Yeah.
Like Ghostbusters 2, The Mummy Returns, they are pointless movies.
Yeah.
But I dig them. I dig them a lot. I mean, they're fucking better than Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
Oh, that's awful. That's
Which
awful.
is only watchable for Jet Li being like pretty sort of interesting in the few scenes he's actually in it and not a CGI monster.
Well, they do the Iron Man 2 thing of drawing attention to the fact that one of the leads has been recast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sort of wink and nod, acknowledging it in the dialogue, but also...
Hey, Mum, since you've changed your hair, you look real...
I don't like that... I don't like that actress in that role.
It's just a bad fit.
Yeah,
it's just a bad fit. It's not really a fault of her own. It's whenever it comes to stuff like that, it's down to casting.
And it's like poor casting.
Yeah.
They don't have the chemistry that Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz had.
And that's one of the things...
kills it.
That's one of the things with Daredevil. One of the reasons people hate it is they're just like Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner do not bounce off each other, and it's like ironic considering later on.
Oh, Keeks finally got around.
Later on, they became an item.
Finally got around to showing me Elektra recently.
It's awful, isn't it?
It's not even awful. It's just like,
and it's weird because it's
I fell asleep.
It's weird because it's like...
Often I fall asleep during movies.
Very rarely.
I fell asleep during Elektra.
It's weird because it's one of the very first times a lot of the things that later on were utilised brilliantly in Daredevil make their... Not even just like cinematic debut, their debut outside of comics.
Yeah.
Like the TV shows weren't dealing with like Stick and all that sort of stuff. And yet, there they all are in Elektra.
Yeah.
And it's
the fact that they go supernatural with some of their villains, like, off the bat, I'm like, okay, sure, fucking let's do this.
This is different. Like, they separate from Daredevil. Daredevil's the street-level crime thing. Elektra's, like, all about mysticism and martial arts and you know... we keep going back to it, like, the idea of, like, the boogeymen and things like that. The idea of these monsters in the dark that operate through myth and...
But yeah, it just fails to be interesting in any meaningful way.
Just terrible. It's Terrence Stampable, bless him.
Oh, terrible TV
Clutching
shows.
a paycheck for that movie.
Terrible TV shows that I really
Stamp
like.
in that film, wasn't it?
Doctor Who.
It was Terrence Stamp in it.
Yeah, Terrence Stamp, yeah.
From a moment I was like, was it Malcolm McDowell? And I'm getting him confused.
No, well...
Same hairline.
What about games? Awful games that you really like?
Oh, I mean, I know one in my house that's not one of mine. Lucy absolutely adores Monster Race of the PS1. And you can understand why that's a confusing thing, because you faced off against her for a Halloween stream a few years ago on it, and it's garbage.
I mean, you love Crash Nitro Karts. That's an awful game that you love.
Oh, no, I don't like Nitro Kart. Nitro Kart can get
Oh,
no. Crash Team Racing.
Crash Team Racing, that's the one I mean, yeah.
How dare you? How dare you? Nitro Kart I would take, but
Crash Team Racing is a terrible, terrible game that he loves.
Mario lover.
I don't even not like it that much. It's
not for you.
Yeah. I don't have any strong feelings about it.
Terrible games that you love.
Terrible games.
I sort of try and avoid terrible games, really. Like if I know I'm not going to enjoy a thing,
play through them.
Yeah, I suppose.
It depends what's bad about it. Because if it just plays awfully, then you kind of it's difficult to push through it. But if it's just like the script is terrible.
I mean, I had a whale of a time with Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's got really good swing mechanics, which then Insomniac went a different direction and proved that you can actually make it way more intuitive.
Yeah.
But Amazing Spider-Man 2 up to that point was the best swing mechanics for a Spider-Man game because it was trigger based. The back triggers were your web shooters. So when it came to swinging, you relied on... It gave you that little feeling of, oh, I'm pulling the trigger on the web shooter.
Yeah.
I'm making that decision. If I want to go left, I want to angle left, all right. Left trigger, let's go. Left arm. And the combat's not bad. It's a full-on Arkham knockoff. It's completely an Arkham knockoff.
Yeah.
It's Spider Sense is a counter, whereas again, Insomniac perfect it. The Spider Sense is a dodge. And you can counter based on how you develop your skills.
Yeah.
But like Amazing Spider-Man 2 is just like, no, it's triangle is
This is the
a counter move,
yeah.
and you know, and Spidey's in-game models, him and all of his alternate costumes, looked gorgeous. Everything else is fucking abysmal.
Yeah, I remember seeing some footage of it and being like, all the geometry and the city itself just looked like
human
the PS2
faces.
Spider-Man. Oh, God.
Human faces. Now, non-human faces, like sort of faces that are warped slightly, like Electro being blue and electric and stuff, and like Kraven plays a decent part in the game. There's a whole subplot with Kraven. He's a bit more comic book in his design. He's very beardy and everything. So it's like the faces that aren't meant to be based on real life people or clean shaven look fine.
Oh, they haven't worked out how to do chins. Is that what it is?
Oh, God. Like Black Cat looks weird. Because again, it falls into that trap of, well, we have to have Black Cat in this, we guess. Because that seems to be a thing with the movie adaptation games. Is they're like, I guess we put Black Cat in it. And it's like, I love that character. Can you maybe like hold off? Just hold off.
Yeah.
So she can have an appearance like in a film at some point. That'd be cool. Instead of jinxing yourselves over and over again. Because like the Amazing Spider-Man video game is set. The Amazing Spider-Man video game is a sequel to The Amazing Spider-Man, and is set after the events. And the Lizard ties into it. Like at one point, you break Connors out of Ravencroft to help figure out the mutation problem that's going on.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is about a bunch of people or animals that have been mutated into humanoids and they break loose. And it's based on the research of Connors at Oscorp. So you fight off against a version of Iguana. You fight off against a version of Vermin. You fight off against a version of the Scorpion and a version of Rhino.
Okay.
And it's like, cool. But also, like, you're just reducing all these villains to mindless experiments.
Yes.
And it's like, that's kind of boring. Like, it's the same that the Amazing Spider-Man 2 credit scene is like, so you're insinuating the Sinister Six are just going to be the people who use the tech in this room. Like, that is so boring.
The people who take stuff out of the box.
What makes his villains compelling is the characters themselves and how they react to him and bounce off of him. Yeah. In this, it's just, hey, do you see? We've done all of his villains. And they kind of grunt and maybe talk a bit. And it's like...
weird. It's weird.
Like, as a shortcut, sure. As a shortcut to be like, how do we get a bunch of Spider-Man villains tied into one story? Well, we'll do it this way.
Yeah.
Sure. But when they did that in the Ultimate Spider-Man comic, it was an ongoing thing with companies creating supervillains on the sly for profit.
Yeah.
Like, they were still humans, and we still got to know them and their personalities and stuff. Like, they weren't then just turned into horrible monsters. Like, it was suits and tech and all this that elevated the person they were.
Yeah.
So that always annoyed me. But then, it's of course that thing they have to walk it back, because Rhino features in that. But then, of course, Rhino is then in Amazing Spider-Man 2, the movie, as Paul Giamatti in a tracksuit and then in a mech suit. So it's like, hang on, you shouldn't... That's why the Shocker's in every fucking video game adaptation. Because they're like, well, they're never going to do him in the films, so we'll put him in the games.
And then now it's good that they don't make games of him anymore.
Yeah, because we've had two Shockers!
Two Shockers in one!
In one film! But yeah, so like, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is just I as I describe it, I'm going to show you what Harry Osborn looks like in the game. So keep in mind, in the movie that it's based on, because Amazing Spider-Man 2 the game... Amazing Spider-Man 2 the game adapts the film.
Yeah.
But it pretty much leaves Gwen Stacy out, adds the Kraven subplot, extends the Harry and Peter interactions.
Why does it leave Gwen out?
And changes Electro's structure in the plot. I guess because complications / likeness rights, maybe?
Maybe.
Even though she's in the first one, and doesn't look much like Emma Stone, but she's in the first one. I think the only likeness rights they got for the first game is Rhys Ifans, because Connors looks like him.
Yeah.
He's voiced by Steve Blum, but he's doing a really good Rhys Ifans impersonation. So it's like, okay. And then in the second one, they got the rights to... in the first one, they didn't get the rights to Andrew Garfield's likeness. So you play as Peter with his mask off in a first-person sequence in the prologue.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, he's always in the suit. In the second one, you see Peter out of it a lot, but they obviously didn't get clearance. So it just looks like... It does not look like Andrew Garfield at all for the whole game. So Amazing Spider-Man... They definitely didn't get the likeness rights to Dane DeHaan as well, put it that way. Amazing Spider-Man 2 game... Harry Osborn. Here we go.
No, I don't like this.
Here we fucking go, boys.
I've not seen it yet, but I don't like it already.
Okay, so just to remind you,
Okay.
that's what Dane DeHaan looked like as Harry Osborn.
Yeah, fair,
right?
yeah.
Sickly, pale, weedy.
And that's just
then,
Dane
and
DeHaan.
then the focus area to Harry Osborn.
Yeah.
Here is what Harry Osborn looks like in the game.
Oh, no! That's like... oh, God. I don't know what they...
That's like a that's like an early 90s Kenner action figure version of him.
That's
but then they put it in 4K.
Like protruding jaw, like plastic hair. Just, that's awful. That's
really broad
awful.
shoulders.
Yeah.
It's so
They
bizarre.
just sort of smushed him and spread him out.
Oh god, there's Peter, by the way. That's Peter.
That's not a good Peter. That's a bad Peter.
That's Pieter Piarker.
Pieter Piarka, my fucking big fat flabby ass.
Oh, the Kingpin was in that game as well.
Oh, what?
Just remember, yeah, because there's Felicia Hardy. There's a whole thing where you interrogate her at a party, like where you're posing as a photographer. Because the games implement the bugle as an element.
Okay, yeah.
And Jameson appears as emails.
Sure.
Bollock you. In both the games. It's so odd. It's so freaking... Yeah, there's Kingpin in the game. I totally forgot he was in it. There he is.
Oh, wow.
Hello, it is me, the Kingpin.
Hello.
I remember his boss fight was okay. Kind of tough, but like, yeah. I might stream it soon, because it's a fucking awful game. And it's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, we can both stream awful games.
On what channel?
On Big Damn... No. On twitch.tv. Twitch.tv/ Big Damn Stream. And we have got a couple of emails, but we'll push them to next week because we're at the hour and a half.
You got shit to do and you got places to be, son.
Yeah.
You got places to be.
There's one chunky long email which I want to dig into, but we'll get to that.
Well, do you know what? Should we open next week with a chunky email?
We'll open next week with maybe we will.
We'll
maybe
chunk it.
But if you do want to send us more big chunky emails or even short little missives, then you can do so at bigdamcontact@gmail.com.
I love a tiny missive.
I love a little missive. Also, you can tweet us at bigdamcast.
I like the pop sound it makes when it gets pulled out.
And you can... If you do want to support, I don't know why you would, because listen to this fucker, but if you do want to support the show...
Keep the lights on, pay for the storage of the show, get onto a Discord server.
Do that. You can in fact do that.
If you're ever like, why do they not talk about this story? Why do they not talk about that story? Chances are it's been discussed on the Discord.
Yeah.
And to get on the Discord, you've got to be a patron.
Patreon.
As little as £1 a month, mate.
Patreon.com/Big Damn Cast. Now with that... Put that in my mouth.
Remember to
Okay, I'll get the cat on.
Yeah!